Hi everybody, and welcome to Forex.com's top 3 ideas for this week in the FX market for Forex Spaces users. Well, it's a huge week for both economic data, but also for markets generally, stock markets, and of course the FX market. It is the first week of every month, which means an awful lot of global economic data, but particularly everyone's looking at the ECB meeting and the US non-farm payrolls report. Well, this brings me to my first idea for this week, which is dollar yen. Now, dollar yen, as you can see in front of you, has really come under some downward pressure recently as we've seen a bit more risk aversion climb into the markets. There's been more of a demand for safe havens like the yen, and the dollar rally has just lost a little bit of steam, has come off alongside some stock markets. Well, this week it could be a completely different picture because, again, as I said, at the end of this week on Friday the 8th of June, we get the latest payrolls reading for May. That number is going to be absolutely huge. It could potentially determine the timing of the end of QE. And overall, we think that it's going to be quite a strong number because we've seen a pickup in economic data in the US in just the past couple of weeks. So we think we could get quite a strong number, maybe 165k, which is what the market expects now. It could even be higher than that. We could see the unemployment rate drop off. If that happens, we think that could have a knee-jerk reaction higher in the dollar. Now, how we're wanting to look at that relative to dollar yen is that, as I said, we have seen it come off its highs. It's really come off quite hard. Currently testing around about that 130 mark, but it has been as low as 110 in the last few days. Now, we think we could be pushed all the way down to 99.50, which coincides, or is just above, a key support level at the 50-day moving average. So we think that that's going to attract some buying interest. And if we get down there, then we may get some buyers coming in between 99, around about that 99.50 handle, which could see us move higher, potentially to the top of that range at 130 by the end of the week, obviously dependent on how payrolls go. But we do think that dollar yen is still very much trading within its range, and we still think there's another leg higher for dollar yen. And actually, any further weakness this week could be used as a buying opportunity. Now, the next major event is the ECB meeting on Thursday. Now, that could cause huge impact for euro dollar. As you can see here, euro dollar is getting really caught in a congestion zone of moving average resistance levels. 130.35, a very important high. Likewise, 130.50 has been the high of the last few days. Now, in the short term, we think that the bias could actually be slightly higher for euro dollar. Remember, 132 is the top of their medium-term range, but we think the ECB is unlikely to make any policy change this week. Likewise, they might play down the impact of negative deposit rates. Basically, negative deposit rates are very bad for the currency, so they're much more complicated than that, but I'll leave it there for you. So we think that if they sound very cautious about cutting deposit rates into negative territory, basically what that means, it could be euro positive. We could get above that 132 high, or the top of that range, and march on towards 133, certainly in the short term. Although we don't necessarily think we're gonna see continued gains, we definitely think the buyers could be mildly higher, and there is very good support 129.80. Now, the last thing that we're looking at is cable. This is also a fairly big week for the UK. We've got some PMI data. We've already had better than expected manufacturing sector PMI. And of course, it's the last Bank of England meeting before Mervyn King leaves as governor and Mark Carney takes over. And that could be quite important because we don't think Mervyn King's colleagues are going to give him a farewell present of voting with him for more QE. But we do think that this week's meeting is really going to focus minds on the fact that Carney is coming in next month, and he could potentially do more QE, which could limit cable gains, which comes just at the right time. Now, this is the daily Ichimoku cloud for the pound, and really this it could be a big technical move now for cable. 153.35, that is the top of the cloud. If we get above there, that suggests that we've entered a technical uptrend. We think that the threat of more QE, of more policy action from Mark Carney, could really thwart gains in cable this week, and we may see some sellers come in between 153.35 and 153.50 to 154. So we're looking to sell on any we think the market could potentially fall on the back of any strength there, especially around about the top of that Ichimoku cloud level. And we've been targeting a move back down to 150 over the medium term as the market digests what it means to have Mark Carney as governor of the Bank of England. So there's 3 ideas to get you going for this week, for the start of a new month for the FX market. Good luck trading this week.